brothers and sisters, welcome back to Monday Sutta class. So today we have Bhante in person. So now I shall read Bhante's biodata. Bhante Dr. Chandima is an assistant professor of Buddhist philosophy at Ateneo de Manila University, Philippines. Bhante also serves as the associate editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, published by the Buddhist Research Institute of MCU in Thailand. Bhante's academic journey includes being a former research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Society, CSRS, University of Victoria, Canada. From 2012 to 2016, Bhante also serves as the Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, fostering spiritual growth within the university community. A prolific writer and blogger, Bhante Dr. Chandima is the voice behind the highly regarded blog Patisota. It was ranked 47th among the top 100 Buddhist blogs globally by Fitspot in 2025. Bhante's unwavering commitment to the study and dissemination of Buddhist teachings continue to inspire and guide practitioners and scholars across the globe. Bhante, with much respect, we would now invite Bhante to conduct the class.
Thank you, Sister Yong. Today, we are going to start off a new sutta, Culakammavibhanga Sutta. Before that, I got two questions about Girimananda Sutta, sent by Sister Petra over here. What does it mean at the end of the sutta that Girimananda was cured of disease? The sutta lists more than 40 physical diseases, but the advice provided to Girimananda touch on cultivating the mind. Do I understand the Girimananda Sutta as dealing with physical diseases from the mind? Or when Girimananda was healed, does this mean the insights he attained allowed him to transcend the mental suffering that was caused by his physical disease, regardless of whether he was cured of physical disease? What happened was the second thing that you said. Through the insights that he had by listening to Venerable Ananda's explanation about ten sanya, that helped him to mentalize the problem, suffering that he had about the body. So that means it is very important for us to cure by changing the attitude towards our own sicknesses, because we are creating a different layer of pain and suffering on top of the physical suffering, because we don't know what disease Venerable Girimananda had. Perhaps it might be a small one, mild one, but anyways, he was able to heal because of his ability to understand those Dhamma things, and then he changed his attitude with regard to his disease, whatever the disease he had. Does it make sense? Okay. Do Buddhist scholars take into account Girimananda's history, that the king forgot him, that the gods protected him from rain, as a possible cause of his later physical disease? Given that the sutta implies the relationship between mental suffering and physical disease, how should we understand the little that we know of his history? Yes, the information about Venerable Girimananda is very scanty, very little. So there is no connection actually. The connection has not been given. But we can make an educated guess, as you say. But other than that, since it didn't happen, because we are thoroughly basing our understanding on the existing information, so we cannot say that it was connected. Anyways, maybe it was a mild sickness, but understanding the 10 sannyas with regard to his own life and sickness, lot of sicknesses are proliferated with regard to how we process the pain, how we process the symptoms, how we process how we got it, how we got the sickness and all that. So that is why We only look at it as he was sick, and then by looking at the insights of the Buddha towards 10 sanya, which were given to him by Venerable Ananda, he was able to heal. All in all, what we can understand is if we can change our attitude towards our physical, mental, emotional problems, we can heal more than how we think about the healing. Right? Maybe more than the doctor's hypothesis about the healing. So that is possible. I'm not saying somebody who is in the stage 4 cancer and then learning Girimananda Sutta and tomorrow the recovery will be coming. That is a different case. I mean, we are not playing with these kind of Dhamma concepts. Mostly, perhaps it might be, it might not be. But this is with regard to day-to-day sicknesses, maybe a contagious sickness, and how we are supposed to change our attitude, not even monks, lay people and everybody. I hope that that's everything about, I think you all look forward to knowing the new sutta, Culakammavibhanga Sutta. The reason why I selected this sutta is that a lot of you think that your happiness, unhappiness that you are having at the moment must have come from past life, karma. So this sutta, Culakammavibhanga Sutta, uses a Pali word called ekaccho or ekachang, this Pali word. That means not everybody goes through these 14 ironies, 14 experiences due to karma. Some, maybe majority, they go through these experiences. There are 14 over here, we can see later on. We will pick up one by one. So they say the first one is about living longer, why some people can live longer, and why some others are going through a premature death, why they are dying early. So the reason why the sutta is giving is karma. But some, not everybody's premature death is going through karma. Sometimes it might be due to a bad decision, poor decision. And we can paint it with the karma brush easily because we might not have a good understanding about karma, like the Buddha. So some, maybe the majority. There are certain things. Now our physical body, 100% come from past life, the last karma, or maybe the karmas that have been matured. Our face, that's why when Prince Siddhartha was born, King Suddhodana asked ascetic Asita to come to the palace and then look at the physiognomy, the characteristics of the newly born son's characteristics, bodily characteristics, and then tell the future. So when Asita came to the palace in Kapilavastu, what happened? He looked at the baby and then he was happy, he smiled, and then he cried. Then the king asked, why did you smile and why did you cry? Then he said, this baby is not a normal one, and his feet touch my head. At the same time, I know these 32 body parts, what do you call them? 32, they are not 32 body parts, 32 great physiognomic characteristics, which were given under the sutta called, what is that sutta? Lakkana Sutta in the Digha Nikaya. And then 80 sub-physiognomic characteristics. They are only for a Samma Sambuddha, a would-be Samma Sambuddha. So I'm very happy that he would be doing this. But I will be not living by that time. So I'm sad about it, right? So then that means our body, if somebody who can understand our body can definitely assess our body and then can tell our future. But there are a lot of bad people in today's world. I mean, don't get scammed by them. Palmistry. Who doesn't like to give the palm? If you know how to read the palm. But palmistry and these things, some are they just fake. But we like to hear, right? So that's the thing. Anyways, so there are 14 experiences, happiness, unhappiness, that people, every sentient being going through, and these are happening according to this sutta to some people due to the karma, past karma. So karma plays a bigger role. So I plan to give you an overview about the sutta, not go into detail because we are going to pick up 7 days, 7 days for each area. That means first day, why some people are having longevity, why others die early. Second day, why some are very healthy, not many health concerns, why some others are always complaining a lot about back pain, knee pain, other problem, this problem, why is it? And then why some are very handsome, pretty beautiful, why some are not like that, right? Don't use the other word. So this way we are going to take the sets, 7 sets, and then the review. So it would take another 8 days to finish this roughly, because next 2 weeks we are not conducting. So from April 28, I think, 28, 14, 21st, April 14 and April 21st, we have already cancelled schedule. One thing is that I'm conducting a retreat in Singapore, for 2-day retreat. The other reason is that I'm going to Sri Lanka, so and then heading back to Philippines after that, so comfortably, peacefully starting the first set. So then it will be going for 8 days from April 28. So we will thoroughly look at each set through other Buddhist teachings. So let me tell you the story, because story is irrelevant to the first, second, those things. There was a man called Todeya, a very rich Brahmin during the Buddha's time. Todeya passed away. And then what happened? At the same time, Todeya's son, Suba, young man Suba, got a puppy in the house. So he was very lovingly associating the puppy in the house, and it became a dog. And then what happened? One day, Todeya's son, Todeya now passed away. I don't know how it happened, because at that time animals used to talk. Somehow they lost this ability, for many centuries after. Humans must have done something, right? Anyway, so Suba asked his dog, "Can you go to the Vihara, bring the Buddha and monks here? But you are not supposed to do that now. Don't send your dog to the temple and then ask chief monk and other monks to come to the Vihara. They might not come." So anyways, it is said that now the dog went to the temple, and then he was just watching what is happening. The Buddha was talking to somebody, and the Buddha knew this is his dog, and then he's waiting to bring us. Even the dogs brought monks at that time to a dana, right? Interesting. And then what happened? This dog, who was not anybody else, that was Todeya, according to the story, was not very happy that his son spending money towards dana activities. So what happened? Halfway of the road, he was trying to bring the Buddha to another crossroads. And then he watched that. He was patient for 2 times. And the 3rd time, he said to Todeya, "You did the same thing in your last life. Don't do it again. We don't know where you're going to heading after this." Then the dog understood. The Buddha recognized him. So he ran to the house through a different shortcut. So then the Buddha knew the place, and he went there with other monks. And then just before the Dana's ceremony, activities, especially making the Dana Sangika, the Buddha asked the son, Suba, to come here. And then he said, "You don't need to get me wrong. I would like to tell you something, that this dog who is here is not anybody, that is your father." He was very mad about it. "How come you call my dog is my father?" So then he said, "If this is false, I would blame you. If this was truth, I really want to check whether it is true or not. Tell me how to do it." And the Buddha said, after the monks finished dana, you give him some dry food, don't give him some liquid food, and then talk to him, whisper to his ear, "Father, where did you bury your treasures?" At that time there were no banks, So somewhere people buried under. Then now dog was having a nice sleep at that time. He heard that son was talking. He knows that this is his son. And then he swiftly woke up, and then he went to the kitchen area and then started digging a certain area of the kitchen. And then son asked his friends to dig that, and he found out lots of treasures. Right? So then, due to this happening that Subba saw in his own eyes, Subba was very interested about this concept. How come my father became a dog? To my house, in my house. So he wanted to know more information. So he went the same day evening to the temple after he gave the dana, asked, Bhante, can you give us more information about this concept, karma? And he asked a question, why some are born this way, why some are born that way, why some are going through pain, why some are going through happiness. And that is how this sutta was unpacked into Subba. So it's a very interesting story. That means greed brings people into animal life, not even just being a normal animal, going to protect the same things that they like, that they were greedy before they passed away. Sometimes when some people don't repay the debt to somebody, they become animals and then taking care of those properties, become some other guards, those animals. So that means even being humans. That's why it's very important to repay all the debt before die. And it's good if you can. I mean, don't die being indebted to somebody, because they come after you, not even your good karma, bad karma. Because sometimes they curse you, you didn't repay if you could. So karma-wise, all these things are coming after, mostly. Right? All right, so that's about Culakammavibhanga Sutta. And if we go to, this is the same thing. So we will be picking up this part on 28 in a nice way. But today we are going to discuss about karma. I think it's a very interesting topic. And then you may have lots of questions about karma. Because without understanding Buddhist karma, from Hindu karma, instant karma, Western karma, karma violence, rationalization of karma, we cannot touch this particular sutta. This sutta, Majjhima Nikaya is 135, and then the next sutta is Culakammavibhanga Sutta. It gives a very interesting insight. So I'm going to cover a little bit of that sutta in this presentation. I have a presentation for you. Karma and freedom. Is everything determined by karma, or does free will play a role in Buddhist thought? Right. Now, free will. Now, this is something that Western philosophers were struggling to understand. Does Buddhism talk about a freedom of the will? How does the philosophy, Indian philosophy, especially Western philosophy, look at it? Buddhism and most Indian philosophies, Hindu, Jain, Ajivaka, Charvaka, they prioritize absolute spiritual freedom over the freedom of the will. Among Indian philosophies, including Buddhism, it is not about how much freedom that do we need to practice life. I think we have the spiritual freedom. It's not that somebody thinks that I have freedom to do anything I want to do. I want to kill, I want to do this and that. That kind of freedom is not the Buddhist discourse or Indian discourse. That is free will, in a way. The Western perspective, Aristotle perspective, and all these philosophers, early medieval. The Buddha and many of his disciples presumably lived in a constant state of embodied Nibbana, a state best defined in a single word, freedom, vimutti. But this freedom is not a freedom that helps them to do whatever they want to do. They are free from the defilements, akusala. Right? Actually, if we free from this akusala, we are free. Even we are in a very messy household. Even you are in a messy household. You don't have to complain about other people. My XYZ like this, they treat me very bad. You are not worried about it because you found your own freedom. Right? Now, this is the kind of free will that we see in the West, right? Do whatever you want. Therefore, there is a deeper and more philosophically significant reason why the Buddha would have regarded free will as it's not an issue in Buddhism. It's not an issue. So, if the Western philosophers ask, does Buddhism consider about free will? No, we don't have a problem like that. Because when you attain Nibbana, you are free. It's not that you want to go to another level of your choices and all that. Buddhists, rather than emphasizing free will, believe in the possibility of free action. That is karma, free action. We are free to do whatever we want to do. But be careful, take the responsibility, karma responsibility, karmas come after us. But is everything karma? Is every thought that we are having karma? How about the thoughts now? How are your thoughts now? Are your thoughts karmic now? Supposed to be, right? Supposed to be, because you are now eagerly waiting to learn and then all that, right? They are karmic. But there are a lot of karmaless actions. There are two karmaless actions. What are they? What are the karmaless actions? That there are actions happening, but they are karmaless. There are no karmas being produced. One is, if we don't have a volition, intention, that shouldn't have a karma. We have freedom, definitely free action. On the other hand, arahants, Pacceka Buddha, enlightened people's activities. An arahant is coming here, offering a tray of flowers to the Buddha. Does he or she create karma? No. She already finished all the karma. Right? That is where we are trying to go. We don't need to do karma also. It's a problem to us. We always have to choose, what is good karma, what is bad karma. It's a struggle. Isn't it? Because always our mind goes to bad karma. So we have to always filter this out. It is a problem. So one day we have to transcend good karma, bad karma. Now we have to separate bad karma, good karma from bad karma. But when we go to that level, that is freedom. Otherwise, we will have to struggle from morning to evening. Oh, did I say something bad words to other people? Right? So we are practicing, our everything is by effort, not by nature. And the Buddha emphasized the energy and effort, what we call virya and vayama. I think we discussed that in our retreat as well. So it's very important. With regard to karma, what is very important is our utilization of energy. Because we are driven by energy all the time. Right? Now, Mahayana philosophy goes even beyond our own effort and energy. They are even saying, hey, don't eat garlic, don't eat onion. Why? You're getting some sexual desire. Really, how to protect us from these food, Doesn't matter what food you eat, you take care of yourself. It's not about that. Food creates us. How to guarantee about the nutriments, right? That's their way. But early Buddhism says that is impossible and sometimes impractical. You eat whatever the food you want, ethically. But it is the mind, not that you cut down on the food. That way, right? So, why are they saying like that? They are saying it's because it's attached to energy. You will have excessive libido, Sigmund Freud's interpretation, and then raga, right? Now, early Buddhism, Buddha, it's not necessary. What is necessary is, if you know that this is your energy that you are having now, anger energy, jealousy energy, talking bad words to somebody, that energy, then you are good. You should be good. Buddhist free will, we can say free action, operates within paticca samuppada and karmic conditioning. Whatever the energy and then the free thought that the Buddha talks about, they are part of paticca samuppada. Then there is no absolute freedom. Why? Paticca samuppada always conditions everything. Sometimes same action, but the results could be different. Now, how many people are here? Maybe around 50 over. You all sitting down here, looking at the slide, looking at me and listening to me. Do you think that you all creating the same karma, good karma? It shouldn't be. Parisamuppada says there is a cause and there is an effect. Cause has been processed through conditions, right? Your understanding, your sanya, the way you process this whole thing, everything, they all matter. So that means even this particular karma will be bearing fruit differently to different individuals. Maybe the whole thing might be a little similar, but in that people might be a little different in the way how they understood. While past karma shapes tendencies, volitional actions, chetana, allow for moral agency. Attadipateya. My moral autonomy, attadipateya, the Pali word is that we will discuss that. So it is not absolute freedom that the Buddha talks about. Buddha talks about we have utmost free opportunity to change our actions. Not that we want to do whatever we want. It's a conditioned autonomy. It's not a full-fledged autonomy which the Western philosophies talk about. One refines choices through wisdom and ethical cultivation. Can we change our life through wisdom and sila? Is it possible to change? How to change it? Let me ask you. How to change your daily life through wisdom? Tell me one small wise act you did today, since today, Monday morning to until this point of time, 8:30 now. One small wise act. You change your you change your choices today, just today. One small activity. Were you anger free today? Huh? Jealousy free today? Frustration free today? Huh? Yes or no? Yes and no. Yes, some say yes, others. Are you worry free today? Huh? See, those laid back faces and looking down. I mean, there must be a secret behind those. Yes. So that means that was the moment you could have changed your choice. Why was I worried? Was it something that I could change? Is someone dare to say one small example of frustration, worry today, if it is not harmful to you? One small thing. One small thing. Let's say weather, very harmless example, weather, raining, maybe extremely hot. So someone has been looking at this very warm weather, maybe heavy pouring or drizzling weather, looking at it in a very negative way. It's raining, what to do. But now the wisdom is arising. I have a lot of things to do. Rain is one part. Rain cannot take me over. I have to do my things. Then what did help that person? Wisdom, some wisdom arose in that person's today. What about a moment that today your eating habits today? Maybe today you ate a lot and you forgot about mindful eating, like what we did yesterday. You forgot about it, right? Sorry. So then, that was a moment that you didn't have the wisdom. So then wisdom does not come to you. You have to create the wisdom. When you go to eat, how to eat wisely. When the worries come to you, how to process the worries without being stuck with the worry. When the thoughts of remorse come to you, when the thoughts of anger come to you, how not to process, how to stop it, how to nip in the bud. How to do it. Some wisdom is necessary. That's how we look at this free, our free space to create our own agency. We can do it. We're not waiting for the Buddha to do it for us. We learn from him. We're not waiting for somebody else to do it. We have to do it by us. This is a little bit more philosophical things actually. Now in philosophy they talk about inner thing goes to outer thing, the experience. But Buddhism says no, it's not like that. It's the same experience. Right? Can there be free will without a self in Buddhism? I think we discussed this in our full review on, I think, when was that? It was 24th, I guess, right? So if according to many, the self-atta is denied in Buddhism, which is wrong, Buddha does not deny it. Buddha says there is a self that is changing all the time. How does Buddhism view free action? Because this is one of the examples that self exists with changes. If Buddhism says that free action is possible, that means there must be somebody to use that free action. If there is nobody, then who is using free action? Right? Right? There should be somebody, but who is changing, whose personality is changing, everything is changing, but that is existing. In reality, Buddhism does not deny the self, but rather understands it as an ever-changing process. It's changing all the time. This dynamic nature of the self allows individuals to fully engage in wholesome karma. Now, when I understand my changing self, I know how it works. I can dedicate myself to kusala and then avoid akusala. And also I can change my past karma. I can neutralize my past karma, most of my past karma. All right, these are the misconceptions about karma in Buddhism. What are the key misconceptions about karma that the Buddha refuted in his teachings? One sutta is Tittayatana Sutta, as you can see, Anguttara Nikaya 3.61. The first misconception about karma is karma as fate or predestination. If we make it simplify, everything that happens is rigidly determined by past karma. As you can see, somebody is controlling everybody with a string. So, this idea that everything is determined by karma is a misconception according to the Buddha himself, according to the Tittayatana Sutta. Yes, a lot of things might be coming from the past life, but not everything. While past karma influences present conditions, present choices, actions, chetana play a crucial role in shaping one's future. If everything is happening due to our past karma, so just let's wait for everything. Why are we doing anything? Don't need to have energy, don't need to plan, just wait, everything will happen to us. Right? So it is a misconception. It is not a Buddhist idea. It is an idea made by Makkali Gosala. You shouldn't be Makkali Gosala's followers. Huh? Determinism, they follow determinism. Everything is deterministic. The idea was proposed by Makkali Gosala. There was a very famous teacher during the Buddhist time and pre-Buddhist time. Second misconception, karma as immediate and fixed retribution. Karma has to be immediate, and then karma gives the results in a fixated way, in a certain linear way. These two are facets of the second misconception. Karma as immediate. Have you ever seen people are thinking, you did a bad thing, you should get it tomorrow, I mean, instant karma, People are cursing like that. But karma is not rushing to do it. Karma does its own way, right? Even though you want to do it, because you are cursing people. If people are doing like that, it's a curse. The Buddha says, even someone is doing very, very bad karmas, never create anger towards that. Be compassionate. May wisdom arise in you. Do things if you can do in a nice way. If you cannot, never create hatred. You make a wish. I know you're going to suffer for this one day. I am very kind, compassionate to your future life now. That is the Buddhist way. But if there is a so-called Buddhist thinking, see how many bad things those guys are doing. You must go to the hell. And this kind of a very bad thought. Then this is not Buddhist. You must become this and that. That's a curse. That curse comes from lots of anger. Somebody is doing bad things and you are creating your own anger and dosa. Ill will, vyapada, right? So that is one aspect of misconception. Second is, karma ripens in different ways. Some in this life, some in future lives, and some may not ripen at all. Very interesting. That is something very interesting. Some in this life, I'm talking about the second one. Some ripen in other lives. So what is the way, how do different karmas affect? Are they ripening at the same time? Are they ripening faster? It depends on the karma, right? Let me tell you, in some of the Buddhist teachings, they are saying that there are certain karmas that are ripening in this life itself. We call them as Ditta Dhamma Vedaniya karma. Perhaps I can write them. So this is not a karma. Certain karmas have been taken as being ripening in this life. Ditta Dhamma Vedaniya means these karmas are ripening as vipakas in this life. So let's say in this very life. Maybe immediately, immediate. And then second type of karmas are going to take effect in the second life, next life. We call them as Upapajja Vedaniya karma. Yeah, same karma. We can say second life. Then the third one is Aparapariya Vedaniya karma. Third and rest. So now we understand that karmas don't take effect the way how we think. Karmas take effect the way how grave are they, and upon which people you have done the karma. Say for instance, you done the bad karma to a very good person, very moral, very virtuous person, then the result will come very fast. If you have done the bad karma to a less virtuous person, karma will take time. So then it doesn't mean that you can do the bad karma to a less virtuous person, right? But the maturation, we call it karma maturation or maturity, is not linear. It's different depending on the karma. So some karmas take effect in the second life, some are third. That's why even when we die time, we think our good karmas here can go to next life. Perhaps another karma we did in another life will come and take over. That's why karma is such a very, it's a very complex topic for us. But when we understand these things, we will learn a little bit more. Okay. Some karmas are not ripening at all. Looks like they're going to be defunct. Why? They can be defunct. They are going to be ineffective. What are they? One is Arahant's karma. Another one is when you do more good karma, some of your bad karma will be taken over. I think that's something that gives us a lot of positivity. We have to discuss that a lot, maybe somewhere in this slide. Because Buddhism says we can weaken a lot of our bad karmas. It is not an invitation for you to do bad karma and then compensate with the good karma. We are not tales. Now we are looking from here now. If we were bad in the past, what to do? Buddhists, we are compassionately looking at it. So there are things we can do as such. But there are 5 very bad karmas which cannot be compensated until you go through the pain. Third misconception is karma as eternal punishment or reward. You can see this person like a monkey. You will never understand the damage you did to somebody until the same thing is done to you. So this is mostly an Abrahamic religious idea that there's somebody like a superior person who is doing that. But Buddhism says there's nobody behind this. It's a natural law. And there's nobody giving it. Even the Buddha also cannot do anything. Remember the story, Nanda's story? Nanda gave a dana to the Buddha and other monks, right? And then Nanda followed the Buddha. So the Buddha was going with him. And then what happened? Nanda followed the Buddha because Buddha was talking to him. All of a sudden, somebody struck an arrow. He passed away just behind the Buddha. Then other monks were trying to say something different. He died because you were talking to him. Then the Buddha said, regardless of he was talking to me or not, that was his karma. He had to die at that point. Right? If people died in front of the Buddha like that, what about us? And we are asking the Buddha, please save me from the death. Right? What about normal Buddhists? Go to the Buddha statue every day, morning to evening. Right? So that's why karma sometimes, Nanda's karma couldn't have been revived. But there were some other occasions where Buddha could help. So karma is a system of divine justice controlled by gods or cosmic force. Buddhism denies that. Karma is self-generated through volitional action. Chetana follows the law of dependent origination, Patisamuppada, without an external judge. So that's how we look at it. It's a misconception to understand karma. Karma to be governed by somebody externally. Number fourth misconception, karma as solely individual. I think this is very interesting. There are a lot of karmas Buddhism talks about as being collective karmas, shared karmas, collective karmas. Think about a flight crash. 400 people died in the same flight. Maybe a natural disaster. Why? Did they all do that? Perhaps not. Maybe they might have done a similar activity at different times in different lives, and then they died. They all compensated for the bad karma in one disaster. This is one thing. And how can we look at this in modern society? Think about a government. A bad government is coming up and making very bad decisions to the people. Are they going to share the bad karma in the next life? And look at the good side. There's a group of people who are talking environmental sustainability. And we want to see, things that distort the environment. We are looking at combating those environmental pollutants. Maybe gas emission, maybe using of plastic, maybe waste management, maybe wisely using the power. So these kinds of ideas are to be, let's say they are to be proposed by certain groups, maybe groups that are talking about sexual violence, gender identity, trying to find out the justice for people. So all these are, on the other hand, creating a shared karma, that group of people, right? So that means a lot of people, they forget collective karma when they talk about karma. They always think, my karma, your karma. No, it's a misconception. Yes, I have my karma, you have your own karma. On top of that, when we are doing together things as a group of people, maybe a family, you are creating collective karma. Think about the example, who is that? Abhay Rajakumara. He constructed a very big mansion, and then he and his wife invited the Buddha to come to their house. And then they had a plan. They actually placed a red carpet in their palace. If the Buddha is stepping on this red carpet, they're going to have a child, because she was not pregnant for many years. And then when the Buddha came, he saw something very strange, and he looked at, and he saw their intention, and he looked at their karmas, and he understood they will never become fertile. She will never become fertile. Something they have done together in a past life. And then he said, take this out. I'm not going to step on this, because you both have done a bad karma in a past life. But this does not mean every couple who are not having children must have done a bad karma. I mean, some of them, perhaps, right? So that's why karma has to be carefully described. But there are events like that in Buddhism. So they done together. Think about a family done a very bad thing to other relatives, maybe a neighboring house. They all become collective karma. So if somebody says karma is just a personal karma, that's a misconception. It is a personal karma, also we create collective karma. What is this karma? Personal karma and collective karma. Yeah, you all come here, learn together, right? So, collective karma. Karma can operate on a collective level, influencing entire communities, even the nations in today's world. The fifth misconception is past karma as the only cause of present experience. This is a very big misconception many people go through. Remember, I had an experience with somebody. Somebody went through an accident, and then it was a very strange accident. Ran into a bus halt, and then she went through a lot of problems, she and her daughter. But then when the husband was talking to me, this was in Canada a long time ago, 2017 around, and he was telling, we were talking, we were doing all the good things in this life. We were thinking that we as a family must have run a rancher in a past life. What do you call? Farmhouse or something. So in that farmhouse, we believe we must have killed a lot of pigs and then broken their feet and their bones. That's why my wife got into this issue. Then I asked, how many years you've been in Canada? Is it 10, 15 years? How often has she been driving? Perhaps the same time she's been driving. So how do you describe that her accident-free driving for the 10 years with this example? Right? How do you prove it? It's like now people are blaming the science. Science cannot prove the karma or whatever other experiences. But how to describe the modern technology through the karma, through Buddhism? Is it a collective effort? We only take certain modern day concept and then we try to compare to Buddhism. I said, don't do it. We never know. You don't rush to put this into a karma. We never know. Perhaps it was a moment of distraction that your wife had, and it happened. Poor choice, right? So Buddhism says that the present life is shaped not only by past karma, but also by current actions, choices, external. I think this is what I always try to emphasize. Yes, you are you. You can change yourself. You can change this whole surrounding environment, your place, your kampung, your city, your what you call country, whole world. There are people who did that, right? So don't think that karma will chase me and then my everything is my karma. No, it is a wrong perception, right? And then karma as merely ritualistic act. When people think about karma, they always think dana and then maybe going to listen to a chanting, maybe a dhamma talk. No, karma is such a very positive vibe. It's a positive vibe. Even you go to the beach just to enjoy the beach, it is you can make it a good karma. You are grateful to the nature, grateful to the ocean, and you are happily looking at people who are enjoying in the beach with mudita. What the happiness are these people enjoying? Your happiness, right? Your achievement, my happiness. That's what we discussed last weekend, right? Happiness is yours. Achievement is yours. I am more than happy. I am 2 times, 3 times, 4 times happier than you. Why? I have mudita. I can do that. So that means karma is not always going on a very hardcore spiritual path. Please do that whenever possible. Yes, we have to do it, but we cannot do these karmas all the time. Dana, sila, we cannot do all the time. So every activity you are doing in your house, when you are having some leisure time with your kids, with your other family members, they all can be karma if you have the right mindset. Right? You can create metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha. So it's not just doing this kind of a ritual, right? I mean, while you are appreciating these things, but karma, you can create karma at any time, even your leisure time, any time, even before you are going to sleep, right? Tonight, think about it. When you are lying down, you're going to sleep. How to create karma at that point? Who has created karma while lying down in a bed? At that time you are thinking, I'm ending my day. How have I been behaving today? Have I done wrong to other people? Have I engaged in good karma, right? And then you are going to remind yourself. You are going to remember. Every time you remember, more good karmas are being created on top of the normal good karmas you have done during that day. So, don't make it only to a mere ritualistic activity in a temple or somewhere. Karma is everything. Karma is everything the way you do it. Otherwise, karmas are not coming to you. The way you do it. Abhidhamma Atasalini, actually one of the commentators talk about that not everything happens due to karma. 5 main types of our states of happiness and unhappiness. Some experiences we are going through in our life coming from seasonal effects. Could be an earthquake, could be a flood, could be a storm, could be a volcanic eruption, could be rain. Think about it. It's heavily raining. Someone doesn't want to use an umbrella. I don't care about the rain. I just get in my car by walking like 1 kilometer. And by the end of that day, the person is having a cold. And you know, I think I thought my bad karma. See, I got it. It's not that bad karma. It's your poor choice. This is where Buddha asks us to change your poor choices into very informed, wholesome, wise choices in your life. Don't blame other people. Don't blame the weather. Weather is weather. Rather than we change, we create the positive attitude towards those things. And the second thing is germination. Germination means photosynthesis in sciences. We can say what is happening with a plant, a tree, flower, pollination. So all these are part of germination perspective in sciences. So is a plant is growing due to karma? No, it is due to that organic process. That's why it is happening. So we don't bring that. But if you go to a tree, if you're going to curse the tree will fade very fast. I think you know that, right? It's always good to talk to a tree nicely. Please grow, grow, grow. Right? Right? It is said, it's very important. Looking at a tree, please grow. I'm happy to see that. It is said that tree can feel it. Because the Buddha says in the Vinaya Pitaka that trees have one faculty. Trees are breathing. Yeah, like us. But trees don't have a rebirth, but trees are breathing. So don't go and tell bad things to a tree or talk bad things near a tree. When you see a tree, please grow. I'm very happy for your growth. It is said that those trees can hear, can feel your your good intentions, right? That is why the Buddha said, monks, don't cut the trees. If you cut a tree, you are creating a Vinaya issue. Don't cut trees. That's why he made a Vinaya point. So whatever happening with trees, plants, flowers, fruits, they are not karma. But there are people who are connecting to the trees and fruits. I know there are some people who, when they are saying, oh, what a good mango tree. Huh? By the end of that day, all the mangoes are dropping, Why is that? That person said, mango is good mango tree. Why? But that person has an evil mouth. They believed, those ancient folk rituals. That's why even that person say a good thing, opposite happen. Then we have to ask, can you wish the bad side, At least mangoes will be in the tree. Couple of days. So there are people who, maybe they have bad energy, their way they talk. And the person didn't expect to talk, suddenly came out from the mouth. What a good jackfruit tree. And then something happened. What a good banana tree. The whole banana will fall down tomorrow, Right? So that means some have this issue. Maybe they are good people, but the mouth is carrying certain energy problem. That's why this energy is very important. So other than that, don't relate the process of the tree to a karma. Tree is tree, plant is plant, fruit is fruit. We cannot connect. But humans can connect. Then karma, you can see. We are going through a lot of things through our karma. But not everything, maybe a lot of things. Mind dynamics, we call chitta niyama here. That's why I said earlier, things that are happening because of our mind and thoughts and consciousness, they are not a part of karma. Say for instance, someone become very angry, and then there is someone who has instant anger, maybe sociopath, bipolar, maybe someone has a psychological problem. Even the law exempts them, right? Because it's okay because this person has a mental problem, right? So, we can change a lot of things due to our process of thoughts and this cognitive process. But if you mess up with your cognitive process, whatever is happening, they are not due to karma. It's due to you not being able to manage your thoughts, right? Nature of life. You can see people are born, we age, we get sick, we die. Is it our bad karma? Right? No. Death is a part of our life. Right? Buddhism tells us not to reckon, not to consider death as something beyond the life. No, death is a part of life. But we don't like other people suffer and die. We expect a pain-free death, right? Not euthanasia. I'm talking about something we expect, we understand, we all die one day. It's not a problem. Buddha is not concerned about that. Buddha is concerned about killing somebody. Death is normal. But what if someone die early? It can be a problem. But death is normal. So everything in our life, those changes, they are normal. Don't bring them into karma. They are normal things. Now you understand there are 5 ways things happen to us, not just karma. So from today, don't make karma as a dustbin, garbage box. It's not everything. It's a very nice place in our life. So we can create good karma. But there are certain karmas that can give us a very hard time, big time. Karma is only one thing. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever faced an unexpected hardship, whether temporary or lifelong, and wondered if it was the result of your past karma? What do you think is the reason? I think many of you might have thought, maybe my bad karma, right? This is a natural feeling, but it's not. If you look at this, no. It is one of them. But I don't know how it happened. But if we look at the source, we can trace out a little bit. It's not karma. Maybe I made a bad decision in my life. Right? What is karma in Buddhism? Chetanaham bhikkhave kammang vadami. Monks, I declare that karma is chetana, volition. Chetana refers to volitional actions carried out through the body, speech, mind. Then, only when chetana is with you, you are creating karma. When you don't have chetana, you are not creating karma. But who knows that? Only you know it. Right? Only you know what it is. It's not that you slap somebody, say, I didn't have intention, I love you, I slap you because I did it without intention. That's why it's a great amount of honesty is necessary to understand karma. Not that we cannot see it as a black and white thing. You know what you did, what intention you had during that time. So, karma, Buddhist karma must have volition, chetana. If not, it's not going to be a karma. But Hindu karma, no, everything is karma to them. Even if you sit, it's a karma. If you go, it's a karma. Right? That's why when people are becoming different in our life, talk some bad things about us, we forgive them. Why is it? Maybe distracted. He or she got distracted, lost some mind. So why we are doing like that? Because we know there are actions that are not intentional. But Hindus know every action, you did it, I know you did it, you will get it. Right? But Buddhists, we have that forgiveness mentality. Why? Karma is chetana. Right? Can you be mindful 24/7? Can you be very intentional 24/7? It might be not the way. Right? Sometimes when you are going to be too much mindful, it becomes a stress to you. You get sick faster. Your immunity goes down. But you want to be too perfect on that. No, you don't need that. Just be normal, but try to create some level of healthy level of mindfulness, right? Chetana, this is a philosophical way. We will just pass these slides. 3 types of karma: good karma, bad karma, and neutral karma. The green part is good karma. Then I could say orange part is the red part is akusala karma, unwholesome karma. Then bit better stuff. Orange part is neither wholesome nor wholesome. That means you cannot say to people that you have bad karma and good karma. Buddhists go beyond good karma, bad karma to neutral karma, right? We call them avyakata karma. Why is it wholesome and unwholesome? Sometimes wholesome and unwholesome. Why is it? 50% wholesome, 50% unwholesome. Can you think about a karma like that? Maybe 70% wholesome, 30% unwholesome. What kind of karma is that? You do a good karma, but later on you are regretting about it. Has anybody regretted about a good karma you did in your life? You gave a gift to somebody and you are thinking, not the right person. Has it happened to you? Your smile indicates that, maybe, perhaps, right? Maybe you have been with that person for long and you think, not deserving, I don't deserve that person, right? Maybe now you are thinking back, you do the post-mortem now, thinking that, I think I haven't decided properly. So when it comes to dana, sila, bhavana, I think there are maybe people who are doing them in different ways. So anyways, some can be both wholesome and we try to aim at wholesome kusalas. So what are they? I think you know them, these 10. I look at it from a positive side, not killing, stealing, I say protecting life, my life, your life. Generosity, respectful relationships, truthfulness, harmonious speech. What is this harmonious speech? When I talk, I have to think about what will happen to other people when I talk. If I don't know, if I don't assess, just be quiet. I don't talk. Why? I don't know what's going to happen, right? I have to make sure, is everything going okay? I mean, when I talk this, what will happen? If there is a safety issue coming up, I delay that truth for some time. Just delay because there's a problem. Commotion, fight can come. Then, gentle speech. What is gentle speech? Talking in a nice way. Meaningful speech. Do I talk meaningfully? Greedy thoughts. That means we have to say generous thoughts here actually. Loving kindness, wisdom. Right? So these are the wholesome acts. We can create a lot of good karma through these 10. It's not only dana, okay? Good karmas come in 10 ways. Not in dana only. Respect all different aspects. Now, it's more difficult than doing a karma to protect the good karma that you did. Have you ever thought about that? You can do a lot of good karma if you have the right mindset, but protecting the effect of protecting that good karma is even more challenging, right? That's why there is a Jataka story, I can't remember the name. In that Jataka story, one king asked certain magicians to come to the palace. Now magicians come and swallow in the swords. That magician swallowed 2 swords. He was very flabbergasted. How come this guy swallowed 2 swords? Must be a very difficult task. He was talking to his minister. The minister told him, the king, my lord, giving a dana and not worrying about the dana is more difficult than this swallowing. Swallowing the sword. That means when we do a good karma, we can start the good karma, do the good karma. The challenging part is how to protect that good karma from akusala thoughts that can come due to our cultural problems, due to our environmental problems, family problems, our money problems, and all that. So that's why I'm saying here, according to early Buddhism, true happiness from good karma comes by protecting it through sammaditthi. Only when you have sammaditthi, you will protect it. You will do it with sammaditthi, but if you cannot protect it, that means you don't have this full sammaditthi. So do a good karma, any kusala, do it consistently. You need the commitment, keep the right view, keep the effort, keep the mindfulness till the last breath. This is the idea. I mean, I give you a very simple idea how to, let's say you do a dana activity, you do a sila activity, you do a meditation, you talk good words, right? Whatever the good karma you are doing out of these 10, then you are going to do it, make it happen. Consistency matters, commitment matters. Why is commitment mattering to us? There are people who do a good karma today and then next karma will be happening in September. I mean, what is that? So during that time, totally juggling with the akusala, you know. So there's no commitment in your own way. And keep the right view, and then keep the effort, and then keep the mindfulness. Mindfulness is our supervisor. Because we are normally in hostage stages, right? Akusalas are trying to take us as hostages. Only mindfulness helps us to get out of the hostage. Mindfulness is not the core value here. Core value is sammaditthi. But mindfulness helps us to get out of the hostage of akusala. Going out of those akusala zones, akusala environments. So the idea that if you can do your own good karma without any without any God, without the Buddha is attadipateya. This Pali word. Attadipateya means self-governance. You all have this moral autonomy. Refers to taking responsibility for one's own actions, thoughts, and moral conduct. This is the key principle in Buddhist ethics, emphasizing inner discipline over external control. Nobody can control you. It is only your moral agency will do something on you, good or bad. Okay, so we had to get going a little faster because of the timing. Now, we look at our own moral autonomy because we have it. That's why we can do good karma. It's not absolute, conditioned by Paticamuppada. Unlike Western free will, Buddhism rejects the fixed self, and that means anatta. The choices emerge from your mental, physical process changes. You can make choices, good choices, healthy choices. Karma is not fate, so you can have your own valuable, wholesome, holistic choice, moral choices. Mental training increases this freedom that we have, this moral autonomy. What to do? We all know that now we have moral autonomy. Only when we do things in morality, sila, samadhi, panya, this freedom can be increased from one level to another level. Right view shapes, positions us in this spiritual path. Without right view, we are going here and there. We are not going anywhere. We are only listening to Dhamma talks, doing meditation. We are not going anywhere. We feel, I do things, but I don't think I progress myself. Why is it? Right view is not supported in that. Right view situates us, positions us in the proper Dhamma journey. And finally, deathbed mindset matters in Buddhism. Maybe you're doing a lot of good karma, just before you pass away, you having a problem. You are going through a certain akusala. Now, how to die mindfully? How to die with kusala thoughts? Do we know when we die? It's irrelevant. If you have this, this practice, good karma practice, you don't mind when you're going to die. You will die peacefully because you have the practice, right? We will just pass certain slides. Okay. My karma can be changed. I can change my own karma due to the conditions I make. Change in the way I engage with karma and how I am affected by the karma of others. Think about in your family, there is somebody always messing up, right? And you know that this is a problem. You can't do something things. Every time you talk about, the person is trying to make a big argument with you, and it's more dangerous after that. The whole piece is going out. So that means even you do good karma, sometimes you will have to go through shared karmic situations in your life. But if you can make them good in whatever the smart, wise way, you can change your karma. And my karma can be changed depending on the rebirth I am having. Let's say if I am to be reborn as a different other being, then even though I have a lot of good karmas, there is no room to take effect, right? And the 4 right efforts, I think we discussed that over and over. 2 for the akusala, 2 for the kusala. You can see preventing akusala, removing akusala, cultivating kusala, and sustaining, maintaining kusala. So these 3 things can be used to change our karma. What are the 2 linear and 2 non-linear processes of Buddhist karma? You know that karma in Buddhism does not work in one way, 2 way. It works in linear way, it works in non-linear way. So how does it work? You can see here. A bad doer is reborn in a hell state. A good doer is reborn in a happy state. That means there is a bad person who has been a lot of bad karma and then going to be reborn in a bad place. This is very normal. This is what we learn from many Dhamma talks, many books, right? And good people are going to be reborn in good place. Same thing. But the problems comes in the second one. You can see. A good person is reborn in a bad place and a bad person is reborn in a good place. Where is it mentioned? Culakammavibhanga Sutta, in the next sutta. It is because the deathbed, the last moment, that person, the good person, lost sammaditthi. That means how to have sammaditthi when we die? We must have practiced it over the course of many years. It won't just happen out of blue. It happens only through a successful practice of sammaditthi. But keep in mind, these kinds of rebirths are not very long term. Now think about Mallika, Queen Mallika's story. Queen Mallika had a bad experience, and then what happened? It came to her mind just before she passed away. And then she was reborn in a hell for a week. And then due to her other good karma, she was able to be reborn back in a good place. And there are some instances, bad people are reborn in a good place. There were many examples in the suttas as well. So, what I try to tell you is that don't think that it's always good begets good, bad begets bad. Sometimes it's not about the good problem. It's not about the bad problem. It's the problem with the person who processes the good and the bad just before he or she passes away. So we cannot blame the good and bad. It's us. That's why conditions matter. So this is non-linear. The complexity of karma does not remove the need to distinguish between good and bad. For a practicing Buddhist, cultivating wholesome actions and overcoming unwholesome ones is essential. That is important. That is what we are doing. Good karma must be sustained with right view throughout the life, especially at the moment of death, to fully bear the fruit. I would pick up a couple of very famous stories to explain this. Transforming karma. Did the Buddha tell us we can transform? Yes, he has given in many places. One example is the brigand Angulimala. Now, you know Angulimala was such a very genius student. And what happened to Angulimala? Yeah, wrong view is what we see. But what led this young man to do this actually? He was a genius in his class. And what happened, other students were very jealous of him. They didn't have mudita for him. So they fabricated a lie. They fabricated a lie to the teacher, saying that Ahinsaka, his name is Ahinsaka, the innocent. This student, your genius student, who you always talking good, he's having an affair with your wife. He got mad. The teacher got mad. He said, he didn't believe when one student said, most of the students, they ganged up, and they said, he's doing that. So he was very mad, and he said, okay, I'm going to take revenge for this. Because I know that all you have to graduate. At the graduation, you have to do something for me. So come, I will tell you what to do. He said, you have to have a garland of 1,000 fingers, but one finger from one person that you kill. That's why intellectually vulnerable people can go very bad than an uneducated person. If you see sometimes people who become suicide bombers in the world, sometimes they have degrees, sometimes they have PhDs as well. Why? When they become intellectually vulnerable, they can do more harm than the uneducated people, because they only believe the education. Sometimes, not everybody. So Angulimala became the finest example of that problem. So started killing, and what happened? King Kosala said one day, I have to take him down. I have to send special forces to take him down. Then the mother of Angulimala knew, my son will be killed by them today, definitely. So I have to go early and help him. And then the Buddha saw, if he is to kill the mother, then he will have to go through lots of pain. So I go earlier, I help him. What was the conversation happen? When Angulimala saw the Buddha, he thought, oh, my last target is such an easy target. A monk cannot even run with the rope. And then he said, stop, stop. He said, then the Buddha said, I have stopped. You are the one who is running. Then this Angulimala was thinking, he's a genius person. He was thinking, monks don't lie. He's telling some truth. Maybe I am running. What kind of running is that? Yeah, this whole akusala thing. He understood in that way. So that means then he wanted to follow the Buddha. He became a monk. But what happened? Every time he goes for Pindapata, people pelted stones at him. He started, bleeding for some karma. But because of the arahanthood, he was able to neutralize lots of bad karma out of it. But does this example say you can be a serial killer like Angulimala and you can go to Nibbana? We cannot compare Angulimala to us. Angulimala has done homework before, right? Just before he passed away in his last life, he messed up due to this issue, intellectual vulnerability. But he was able to transform. That's why in England there is a prison called Angulimala prison. In UK, that was a long time. And they were looking for Buddhist chaplains to advise inmates some time ago. Story 2, sex worker Ambapali. Now this story is very interesting too. Now Ambapali was having an income more than half of the state. But when Ambapali came to see the Buddha, Ambapali asked the Buddha, I want to offer my certain garden, certain orchard. Then the Buddha never said, you earn money through bad ways, you are a sex worker. He never said that. But this again creates another issue. Ethical money, we discussed that yesterday. So that means Ambapali is a very special character. Ambapali could attain Nibbana. So that's why Ambapali offered this, and then she became a nun and she attained Nibbana. So Buddha knew she had the possibility. But this is not what everybody else should be thinking of, right? Past life, she must have done a lot of good things, right? And she transformed her life. And Patachara's story is a very interesting story too. After losing her husband, 2 sons and parents, Patachara went very mad and roamed naked. And the Buddha led her to wisdom and Nibbana. Right? She transformed her life. And the agony, that the suffering, grief that she went through was the trigger for her to understand life. Right? So, and monk Devadatta's story is a very interesting story. And we understand Devadatta wanted to become the Buddha. He thought Buddha is a position, like in a temple. And he wanted to get that position. And then what happened? He was doing a lot of things, but at the end, Buddha had no any wrong thoughts about him. Of course, he shouldn't have. He had the same loving kindness he offered to other people, even to his son, Rahula. So, was Monk Devadatta transformed? Yes, he did. How he transformed? Just before he passed away, he understood, he realized what he did. So he was saying, Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahatu Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato. At that time, he was swallowed by the hell angels. And it is said that one day he will become a Pacceka Buddha. If not, he understood that homage to the Buddha, he will not be able to come back. So he was able to transform. Even the very bad person was helped out by the Buddha. So that's why in Buddhism, we should be able to tolerate everything, but not to accept what they are doing. We should have that compassion, kindness. All right, I think that's pretty much everything. Finally, what we understand is we have a conditional freedom, but that is enough for us to make our own decisions. And this is not very important to you. And we have an ethical responsibility with regard to our karma. And karma can be neutralized, mitigated, weakened, our bad karma. Not all the bad karma, most of the bad karma. But these are the very heinous bad karmas: killing mother, killing father, killing arahant. But this list brings up other problems too. What about killing other people, right? So we have to avoid all types of killing. And we are going to understand our moral autonomy, right? Right. So karma is not absolute, it is changing. Moral autonomy exists in us. We can change our actions, thoughts. Buddhist free will differs from Western free will. Karma influences but does not bind. Freedom in Buddhism is inherent. We don't have to find it. All right. So then finally, what I'm going to say here is that Buddhist karma is not something that we are bounded by. We can create our own choices, healthy choices. Karma is one of them. So you can change your irony, you can change your destiny. That is why you are here. But certain bad karmas, good karmas are following you. It is unavoidable. But you can even change the effect of most of the bad karmas. So that is what we have to say at the end. Any questions about today? We are going to talk about Culakammavibhanga's karma section after.
Talk about the neutral karma. When you do a dana, it's wholesome. Then after that, you regret it. It's unwholesome.
It can be the way how the person is processing that thought.
But let's say when I do it right, my thought moment at that stage is wholesome. So it's really an action. Then after that, when I go back, I regret about it. It's unwholesome. So, but it's two separate action. So that's why.
Yeah. So karma.
Okay, thank you.
Karma. Previously, you had good karma during that particular activity. Now you go home, then you are going to. Your good karma is affected by other factors, the way how you think about it.
Yeah.
Then you had the good karma, and then you are creating a neutral karma. Perhaps that neutral karma is taking over the good karma as well, because karma is an entity. Now say for instance you do a good karma in January, then you are creating multiple karmas on that good karma. Maybe by March you lose the interest about that karma. Then that karma will become taken over by other karmas, neutral karma. That's why it is said after you have done a good karma, you have to protect that good karma. How to protect it? Creating more good karmas on that particular karma, thinking positively, thinking happily, never become unhappy about that. Positivity matters in Buddhism. So, otherwise you can't even carry your good karma if you are not a positive person.
So in that case, it's the neutralization of the good karma over the bad karma.
Yeah, neutralization happens on the other way around at that point. Yes, it happens the other way around. It is very bad actually. I mean, why you neutralize it, right? Think about you are a good person for 5 years. I mean, you are talking good words. The January 1st of the 6th year, you are being very bad to somebody, right? You are talking all the swear words, bad words. Then all the good karmas that you've been creating will be taking another turn.
Just now you taught us that there's a word that Chetanaham Bhikkhave Kammam Vadami. The Buddha says that he declared that karma is Chetana. So when Chetana is happening, okay, it's volitional actions carried out through the body, speech, and mind. If the mind has a bad thought, but it does not come out from the speech and the action because it was controlled, that still count as bad karma.
Yes. Yes. Chetana's master format is thought. Master format. And secondary, the tertiary formats are speech and body. So already you are making that happen, because Buddhism looks at it from a psychological level. That's why we had to be very careful with regard to the thoughts. But there is a certain difference. I mean, when someone is having a bad karma, let's say someone is having a hatred, and then hatred is not materialized through speech and body. Still good, better than becoming that monster, but still creating a certain akusala. That's why.
Okay, so understand that. So in relation to the practice of bhavana meditation, how do we come about, stopping these bad thoughts?
All right, I think bhavana, as we all understand, is that we are cultivating the good side of all these thoughts. I mean, alobha, dosa, moha side of that means dana, then metta, and then panya side. So then when we are creating an enormous amount of dana thoughts, sila, metta thoughts, and then panya thoughts, it is highly unlikely and akusala can take it over. That's why when you are creating that side better, higher, then akusalas are not having that many rooms to take place. Mm-hmm. But suppose there is someone who is not cultivating that side, even a small akusala thought can create lots of vipakas. That's why meditation helps us to do it. Not even meditation, sitting meditation, posture meditation, walking meditation, dana, sila activity, all they are helping us to increase, multiple, deepen our kusala side. So a very good, commitment to the kusala activities can really help us, about the process of akusala, any process of akusala. That's a really good support.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
In terms of intention, right? If someone have mental problem and they kill people, or someone who has depression and they kill themselves, is there any intention involved there? Consider bad karma or good karma or neutral? Yeah.
Okay. So normally what we know is that that is why Chetana is important to understand. If someone is a sociopath, bipolar, maybe having other psychological problems, if that person is to engage in that kind of activity, that person is exempt even the jurisprudence, even in the court. In the same way, that's why the Buddha says when a monk has done a bad thing, other monks witness, the Buddha says the person is innocent until there's a formal verdict is being done by a group of other monks. Those monks have to decide the verdict depending on 7 adhikarana matters. First one is they have to check whether that particular monk was really mindful or unmindful during that particular charge. So even the monks have that thing. So in that case, the person is not creating a good bad karma because the person is not in the right mind. But the problem is it has to be assessed by a psychiatric psychologist person. Otherwise, we don't know. I think there are people who are fake. I don't know what happened to me. I kill. There are people who are taking advantage of these things. They become smart. That's why Buddhism is very good for really, honest people. Buddhism is not going to work for very fake people. It will be only a certain cultural practice for them. The true Buddhism really working for the honest people who really working towards wholeheartedly, accept what is really going on. But the way you put the question, that person will not be having because he or she didn't have the mind is not there. Yeah. All right, with that, the time is going. We are going to transfer the good karmas. So we will be continuing our Culakammavibhanga Sutta's discussion. Culakammavibhanga Sutta can be discussed now. Now you know karma is only one thing. That is why I wanted to give these slides and explain karma as a whole concept. So may all the good karmas we've been creating today on this Monday be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away in the name of all of us. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idam me ñāti Sukhita huntu ñātayo. May Devanaga Mahidika also receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety, and happiness. May they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sangpadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sangpatti siddhya. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu sasanang. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanang. Akasatta cha bhummatta devanaga punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang parang chirang rakkhantu tvang sadati. Dhammavish, our Dhammavish is to be surrounded with Kalyana Mittas. We sometimes make bad choices to be with Papa Mittas. So now we understand it's better to be with Kalyana Mittas. At the same time, may we be able to be Kalyana Mittas to other people as much as possible till we attain Nibbana. Thinking thus, we are going to make the wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Finally, may all the good karmas we be making today by learning about karma, Buddhist karma, how does karma work, how much moral autonomy that we can have in our life, how to change our karma, we can change our karma. May all these good teachings, may all the good karmas we've been creating through all these good teachings be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa niccang baddha prachaino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha atu nibbana sampatti iminate samicchato. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.